So it looks like the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes are down to the Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Giants, and maybe, just maybe, the Minnesota Vikings. The Seahawks were also reportedly in the mix, but they opted for Sam Darnold. I think that would have been a good spot, but whatever. They went with Sam Darnold. Now, I think if you're Aaron Rodgers, I think you have to be thinking about Pittsburgh or Minnesota. I feel like if it were up to him, I feel like he would choose the Vikings just because they have the best roster right now and the best chance to win. Also, there's the revenge factor there as well. Get to play Green Bay twice a year, twice in 2025. So I just feel like that would be very appealing for him. But as of today, I feel like he has two offers on the table. One being the Steelers and two being the Giants. Honestly, man, I have no idea where he's going to go. I could see him going to all three teams. If I had to choose one team where I would 100% want to see him go, obviously I'd pick the Vikings. The Brett Favre prophecy coming true. That would be just really strange and very entertaining. And yeah, man, just Aaron Rodgers on the Vikings for one last hoorah in his NFL career. I just think that would be the most fun for the 2025 season. And I think it could work, man. You know, Kevin O'Connell, Addison, Jefferson, his ex-teammate Aaron Jones. The Vikings were very active in free agency, really amping up that defense and O-line. I think the Vikings could potentially go on maybe, just maybe, a Super Bowl run in 2025. So I would love to see that happen. But if I had to make a prediction, I think he's going to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I'm going to tell you why this move actually makes a lot of sense for all parties involved. I originally thought this was going to be a bad move, but now I'm kind of convinced it's actually a good move no matter what the outcome is. So let me get into it. So if Aaron Rodgers joins the Pittsburgh Steelers, he has two good wide receivers there, Pickens, DK Metcalf. Can they get along? Will they listen to Aaron Rodgers? I'd say they should, but at the same time, you kind of have to cross your fingers and wait and see. And the Steelers still do have a pretty good defense. So I feel like it is possible for the Steelers to go on a playoff run. You know, Mike Tomlin has made the playoffs for what, like 20 straight years now? I know I'm exaggerating, but like it's been a minute. Like he has an insane streak of making the playoffs. Even though they've been one and done forever, I still feel like it would be a playoff team with Aaron Rodgers. And it's been a long time since we've seen Aaron in the playoffs. It will more than likely be his last playoff appearance in his NFL career. So you never know. He might just go out there and sling it and just put on a show, and anything is possible once you make the playoffs. So I'd say that's best case scenario for the Steelers. I'm sure most Steeler fans are dubious about that actually happening, but you know, that's best case scenario if you sign Aaron Rodgers. Now, worst case scenario is the team just falls apart, and the team is just a terrible culture, and it's a terrible locker room, and they only win like 5 or 6 games like he did with the New York Jets. I also think that's very possible because Aaron Rodgers, where he's gone the last couple of years, you know, during the tail end of Mike McCarthy's time in Green Bay, he got him fired, man. He got him fired. If Aaron stayed on the field and he was healthy and he was balling out, Mike McCarthy never would have got fired. And of course, we all just witnessed what happened with the New York Jets. He essentially cleaned them to the bone. He got everyone fired, and he brought in all of his people, and he just turned it into a dumpster fire. So I feel like the same thing can happen in Pittsburgh. And if that does happen in Pittsburgh, that's a good thing. That is a good thing because, like I mentioned, when you make the playoffs for 15 straight years and you're one and done for essentially all of them, you're stuck in no man's land, and you're never in a position to draft top tier talent, and you're never going to be in position to actually draft a franchise quarterback. So hypothetically, if it's an awful season for Pittsburgh with Aaron Rodgers in 2025 and he gets Mike Tomlin fired, or they trade him away, etc., etc., I just really think that's a good thing, man, because I feel like the Steelers need kind of like a mini reboot slash rebuild. It just hasn't been working the past 15 years and whatnot. You know, congratulations for making the playoffs. A lot of NFL fans are probably envious about that feat, absolutely. But the goal here is to win a Super Bowl. Everyone wants to see their team win a Super Bowl. And the Steelers, sure, they're making the playoffs, but they're not serious Super Bowl contenders. And I just feel like a new head coach in Pittsburgh could go a long way. And I just think Mike Tomlin and the Steelers need to split up. That's just my take on it. Let me know if you agree with me. And Steelers fans, let me know if you want to see Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh for 2025. Let me know in the comments below. So yeah, man, in my eyes, it's a win-win either way for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if they don't sign Aaron Rodgers, then, I mean, come on. What are they going to do? I truly have no idea. Bring back Russell Wilson? Draft Jackson Dart? I don't know. I just feel like if the Steelers hypothetically draft Jackson Dart, I don't know. I kind of get Kenny Pickett vibes. Not to say they're comparable, but the same kind of ordeal that they were in when they drafted Kenny Pickett. So I just don't know if I have a lot of faith in that route. But if Shedeur Sanders falls and they make a trade somehow and they could draft Shedeur, I like that. Don't really know how he'd work with DK and George Pickens, but it's not bad. Or if the Steelers want to acquire the #1 overall draft pick and draft Cam Ward, I don't hate that either. But I think it's Aaron Rodgers or bust for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I feel like they feel that same way. And hypothetically, if he goes to the New York Giants, it's essentially the same scenario with Pittsburgh minus the potential of a Super Bowl run or playoff run, because that roster is just not as good as Pittsburgh's, and I just don't see that working out in any way, shape, or form. If Aaron Rodgers goes to the New York Giants, Brian Dable, their GM Joe, everyone will be fired on January 2026. No question about it. So let me know where you think Aaron is going to go and when do you think he's going to make up his mind. You know, Adam Schefter was asked about it a couple days ago, and he just kind of went off on Aaron Rodgers about like how he's taking so much time and how other free agents can make up their mind quickly and blah, blah, blah. And I totally agree with him. You know, for him to take up this much time, and sure, like he might make a decision in the next 48 hours, but honestly, if I'm the Steelers, if I'm the Giants, like we're talking about like 2025 Aaron Rodgers here. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Here's my offer to you. If you can't get back to us within like 24, 48, forget it, bro. Like, you don't really have that clout anymore. I know he's a Hall of Famer. I know he's one of the most skilled quarterbacks of all time, but for him to be holding an organization hostage and just waiting on pins and needles, like, no, bro, no. So I agree with Adam Schefter kind of calling out Aaron Rodgers, how long he takes to make a decision. I mean, if he drags it out for like another week or two, I mean, come on, dude. Like, I don't know. Like if he doesn't figure it out by like Sunday, I'm gonna be kind of disappointed and just like, it's not that deep, dude. Like, it's not that deep. Like, you gave it all the thought in the world on, you know, your retreats and whatnot to join the New York Jets, and look how that turned out. Maybe it's better just to make a quick decision and just go for it, you know? But you let me know what you think in the comments below. If you made this far, please subscribe, like the vid, and help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
But that is a really nice job that time by the offense, the quarterback. They pick up the first down. That'll get you going. Breaks the plane. Touchdown.